doing this for over 30 years, I've got all kinds of stories in this business. Big wins, big losses. And as I said, the college lock of the year is my signature play. And your seasons sometimes get defined by those big plays. And you always remember your most memorable wins. But even so, what you remember most is memorable losses or bad beats. And I have one game that I remember. It was my NFL lock of the year. And it was a game in which I had New Orleans was playing Jacksonville. I had the over in the game. The over-under was 40. And the two teams marched up and down the field in the first half. And every time they got inside the 10-yard line, either they threw an interception or somebody fumbled, which is an absolute killer when you got the over. I mean, turnovers can dictate the game going over, under, and obviously quick turnovers can result in quick scores. But in this instance, when you march down the field and turn it over inside the 10, it's going to kill an overplay. Even with that said, I had a couple scores early in the third quarter, and I had a shot to get the game. New Orleans went on a run. They drove down the field at the end of the game. The score was 20-13, and they went in on the next to final play of the game and scored the touchdown, and with the extra point was going to make it a 20-20 game. I was going to go to overtime, didn't care who won. I was going to have the over-under. And John Carney, who never misses an extra point, shanks the extra point. I miss the extra point. The game ends at 20-19. I throw a phone through the wall and lose the game by a point. And that's one of my more memorable losses. But really, the sport, when you get to do what you like to do, and you wake up every morning knowing that you're going to get to do what you were born to do. And I love handicapping. And I said it goes back to when I started to go to the racetrack with my dad at the age of 10. The challenge of beating a number is what I live for. And my style of handicapping is unlike most people's. I look at games not like the average bettor. I look at a game, I like to call it the who, what, where, and why. Whenever two teams are playing, I look at who they just played. I look at who they got coming up. I look at what happened in the game when they played last year or earlier that season. And I take all of those situations along with statistical handicapping and trend handicapping. A lot of guys make a living just betting trends. I've never been one to rely solely on trends, because just because something happened in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen in the future. I like to look for situations. My ability to spot high and low spots on team performances is what makes me be able to cash. Teams don't play at the same level every single week. These people are human beings. They're athletes. They're not machines. They have emotions. Some games mean more than others. They may have played their arch rival the week before, or they have them coming up the week following, and they mail in a game. You could have a college team that's never on TV and suddenly gets a TV game against a big school. They play their hearts out that week against that team and come up short. Well, the national audience got to see a team on TV that they never get to see, and they draw a conclusion based on one game. And the following week, that team that looked good in losing is now a small favorite. And because the public drew, an interpretation of that team's strength based on watching them one time, they're going to bet them the following week. Vegas knows that, and Vegas adjusts the lines. And I'll look for situations where I'll go against teams like that and take the live dog. And those are things that have made me money over the years. And it's my secret to success. 30 years in this business, that's something I'm very proud of. And I treat every customer the same. If you have a problem, even here at pregame, you can always email me at pregame at marco@pregame.com. I answer customers' questions all the time. I'm in the forums. That's what it's about. That's what pregame.com is about, and that's what Marco D'Angelo's about. I appreciate the opportunity to tell you guys my story, and I look forward to continuing to serve you guys and providing you with winners. And know that anytime you get a play from me, know that when your money's going down on the game, so is my money. And that's what I do. And again, this is a Meet the Pros podcast. It is a pregame.com production. This is your host, Marco D'Angelo, as well as your guest this week. And I'll be back in the continuing series of the Meet the Pros podcast. So be sure to stay tuned in our site, as we'll let you meet all of our cappers and get to know their styles and their story. Once again, thanks for joining me today. This is Marco D'Angelo, wishing you the best of luck with all of your wagers.